Hello friends, welcome to the Tales of Mahabharata by Banyan Tree Stories. So far, we've learned about the strange changes that occurred in the environment at the time of the birth of the Kauravas. We also saw that due to the curse of Kindava Muni, Pandu met his death while being with his wife Madri, and after Pandu's death, how Hastinapur welcomed his sons and his wife Kunti. After the Pandavas arrived in Hastinapur, Suyodhan's uncle Gandhar king Shakuni also came to welcome everyone. Shakuni was quite adept at politics and cunning, but physically incapacitated. He expressed his thoughts in a very impactful way to the extent that no one could remain unimpressed. No one could guess from his mannerisms or his eyes what his mischievous mind was up to. Shakuni considered his sister's marriage to Dhritarashtra as the biggest defeat of his life. He took his defeat to heart in such a way that he vowed to destroy the Kuru dynasty. For this, he gave up his kingdom and came to live in Hastinapur after the arrival of the Pandavas. Suyodhan was no longer a child. He had understood that the arrival of the 5 Pandavas could make it difficult for him to become the crown prince. So he took the suggestion of his uncle to identify himself as a Kaurava and his brothers too, while the sons of Pandus were called the Pandavas. The arrival of Shakuni gave Suyodhan a new strength. Now he not only looked for new ways to trouble Pandavas with brute force, but also with cunning and deceit. Bhim was a simple-hearted boy with a fickle mind, but he was also extremely powerful. Suyodhan, being the strongest among his brothers, used to defeat everyone in wrestling. One day, due to his arrogance of his victory, he invited Bhima for wrestling. Bhima was also ready for wrestling. In true sense, the first war between Kauravas and Pandavas had occurred then. Bhima and Suyodhan came to the arena to fight, and the Pandavas and Kauravas gathered around to watch the game. Bhima struck Suyodhan first, and whenever Suyodhan tried to get up, Bhima would knock him down again. Suyodhan had lost in wrestling for the first time. Seeing their eldest brother lose, 10 other Kauravas attacked Bhima, but Bhima, being Bhima, defeated all of them. After that day, no Kaurava would confront the Pandavas in a physical fight, although they never missed an opportunity to belittle them. Everyone understood that Bhima was the strongest, agile, and very loyal to his brothers. Because of this fear, the Kauravas did not bother any other Pandavas again. Now for Suyodhan, Bhima had become a greater thorn than Yudhishthira. Bhim was the most restless among the Pandavas. He was the most agile and the strongest among all brothers, to the extent that he ate twice as much as the others. Suyodhan started feeling envious of Bhima, to the extent that he even dreamt of Bhima laughing at him. This was the reason Suyodhan would provoke his brothers to tease Bhima more. Bhima was not less either. He used to trap the Kauravas in his talks in such a way that they would fight amongst themselves. If ever too annoyed, he would pull the Kauravas' hair, or sometimes defeat 10 Kauravas in wrestling just for fun. If the Kauravas ever climbed a tree, Bhima would shake the tree with his strength, causing all the Kauravas to fall to the ground like fruit. This behavior of Bhima gave Shakuni an extra reason to incite Suyodhan against the Pandavas. Shakuni would often provoke Suyodhan by trapping him with questions like, Yudhishthir is the first claimant to become the crown prince. If he becomes a king, you will have to live like a slave. Are you ready for this? Suyodhan, who had been dreaming of becoming a king since childhood, found this question piercing like a thorn. In response, he often said, I will become the king of not just Hastinapur, but the whole world, and will run it according to my will. Shakuni would then remind him, to achieve this, you have to become powerful. And remember, my child, The powerful are made not from strength but also from the weakness of the enemy. There is only one way to weaken Pandavas. You have to get rid of Bhima. Suddhodana, almost frustrated, says, I know this too, but how do I get rid of him, uncle? He alone can overpower 10 Kauravas. Shakuni explains, son, political strategy suggests that if a task can't be accomplished by force, it should be done by deceit. It's important to achieve the task regardless of the method. Suddhodana, not quite understanding, says, what do you suggest I do? I had this desire for a long time, but there was no one to show me the right path and no one I could trust. Shakuni, with a deceptive smile, says, my child, you don't need to worry now. I am with you. Suddhodana hugs Shakuni so tight that Shakuni gets scared for a moment. He says, as soon as I become king, I will make you my prime minister, uncle. Shakuni, pushing Suddhodana away, says, Suddhodana, you will have to get Bhima out of the way. But nothing can be done in the palace. For this, I will suggest some other way. Let me think. Don't worry. Have a good sleep. One morning, Suddhodana goes to Bhishma Pitama and proposes that he wants to spend some time with all the princes by the Ganges. Bhishma Pitama understood from Suddhodana's word that he had harbored feelings of enmity towards Pandavas. Even though he didn't want to, he gave permission in the hope that maybe staying together might evoke feelings of friendship among them. Suddhodana was taking special care of every arrangement in the Ganges in Pramanakoti. He was treating the Pandavas with even more friendliness and care than he was his own brothers. The Pandavas were also very pleased with Suddhodana's behavior. Eventually, one morning everyone set out on chariots, elephants and horses. The entire kingdom was delighted to see the love between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. After some time of the travel, everyone reached their destination. The place prepared by Suddhodana was no less than a palace. Everyone was so happy with the place that they decided to come here and play now on. There were arrangements for many different games. Bhima was participating in every game. After some time, all the princes became tired from playing and everyone was hungry. So they all rushed to eat. Everyone took their food in their own plates, but after a while, it was seen that everyone was feeding the brother next to them from their own plates. However, the act of feeding each other was initiated by Suddhodana. He lovingly fed Bhima from his own plate, and Bhima ate more than his capacity. Suddhodana was quietly happy that his plan was working. Today, the biggest obstacle in his path to becoming a king will die from the poison given with love, and the greatest strength of the Pandavas will be eliminated. After eating, Suddhodana suggested swimming. Everyone ran to swim to the river and started racing among themselves. As always, Bhima defeated Suddhodana again, but this time he got tired very quickly and laid down on the shore. Arjuna came up to him and asked, "What happened, brother? Are you okay?" Bhima, in his tired voice, replied, "Yes, just tired because of the heat. You all play, I want to sleep for a while." Saying this, Bhima began to rest and the others got busy playing. After a while, Suddhodana said, "Let's go, I'm hungry. Let's eat something." And everyone went back to the hermitage. Suddhodana went into the kitchen and asked the cook to prepare the food. Then he came back to the riverbank with some Kauravas. He saw that Bhima was fast asleep. Suddhodana was delighted. Why wouldn't he be? His biggest enemy was gone today. The extent of Suddhodana's hatred for Bhima can be estimated from the fact that he had mixed so much poison in Bhima's kheer that it could have killed an elephant. Suddhodana couldn't risk Bhima surviving under any circumstance today. So he, along with a few of his other brothers, threw Bhima into the Ganges nearby, moving a step closer to his dream of the royal crown. When it was time to return at night, Yudhishthir remembered Bhima. Suddhodana said, "He must have been tired, so he must have gone to the royal palace without us." Nobody doubted Suddhodana's word, and everyone started moving towards the royal palace. Upon Yudhishthir's arrival to the royal palace, the Pandavas inquired Mother Kunti about Bhima and realized he was not at the royal palace. Kunti became worried and said that they should go and find him immediately. The four Pandavas reached the same place looking for Bhima, but what they found made their hearts sink. Due to Bhima's weight, the sand at the riverbank had been pressed down, and the sight of it gave the impression that someone had dragged an unconscious Bhima and pushed him into the river. Yudhishthir decided that they would return the next day because it was getting late and their mother would also be worried. Upon returning, they find Vidura already in Kunti's room. Kunti, not seeing Bhima, began to lament. She said, "Did Suddhodana hate my son so much that he killed him?" Vidura very humbly said, "All that you are saying are mere accusations and assumptions." Kunti became even more upset. "Don't you see that the greed in the power of Suddhodana's eyes? His name shouldn't be Suddhodana, it should be Duryodhana." Sahadev from the back said, "What's in a name? As soon as our brother comes back, we will start calling him Duryodhana." Vidura looked at Kunti in a calm demeanor and says, "The royal priest has clearly seen all the five of your sons have long lives. Therefore, you shouldn't worry. He will not be killed by Suddhodana." He paused, then looking at Sahadev said, "Even if we assume that Suddhodana did something to Bhima, there is no need to accuse him. I am completely sure that nothing would have happened to Bhima. But remember, don't call Suddhodana Duryodhana until Bhima returns." Saying this, Vidur left. On the other side, Shakuni and Suddhodana were celebrating their victory. We all know that Bhima would come back, but the question is, how will he return? Who will save him? Who will rescue the unconscious child from the river? Stay tuned with us to know. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the next episode by Banyan Stories. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel.